Hello, everybody. I'm Dan Lucy on the Ozarks First Digital Desk. Saturday will be a special football game at Missouri State. It's the Bears' first home game of the FBS era. It's also Mo State's first home game as a member of Conference USA, but it is the last game with Hall of Famer Art Haynes on the radio broadcast. Haynes is retiring after calling Bears athletic events for 45 years. The Marshall, Missouri native has seen the university grow from Division II Southwest Missouri State to Division I Missouri State. And Haynes has overcome health scares from a cancerous growth in his nasal septum to the West Nile virus that has the 69-year-old confined to a wheelchair. But none of that could stop Art Haynes, who has decided to retire on his own terms.
Yeah, I've been thinking, that's way out in the future, and now it's here. And I'm excited for it. I want it to be a good broadcast, but I want to just soak in all the people that are going to be here, and hopefully it's going to be a great atmosphere and a great crowd and hopefully a good game. And I want it to go out as a good broadcast.
One reason why Saturday's game is so special to Haynes is because of the opponent, Southern Methodist. Haynes went to college at SMU and began his broadcasting career before he graduated. A Dallas radio station needed help calling SMU basketball games because the regular announcers would be covering the Cowboys in the Super Bowl.
Al Wisk was the announcer. He called me up in Marshall. I was home for Christmas and said, "Haynes, have you ever done basketball?" I had not. I said, "Well, sure. Well, you're doing the SMU Baylor game a week from Saturday." So I hung up and thought, what have I done? But I'd never done a college game on a real radio station. So this is going to be 50,000 watt KRLD. But I did it. That was my first game, January of 1976.
And now his last game will involve the SMU Mustangs. It's rare that a broadcaster's career can go full circle. In 1977, Haynes landed a job at KGBX, and his affiliation with Missouri State started.
They had Vern Hawkins, had been doing the game since 1950. So he and I worked together for 4 years. We each would do a half of football and basketball. We got to be great friends. He taught me a lot about the history of the university, not just sports. And I've been privileged to be a part of that now for all this time. It really was instant that I fell in love with Springfield and with Missouri State.
The darkest days of his career came in the fall of 2022 when Haynes was infected with the West Nile virus. The infection nearly killed Haynes, who battled through nearly a year of rehab to return to the radio airwaves. Haynes did not let being confined to a wheelchair stop his career, calling home basketball and football games. But he does admit that the virus played a big part in the timing of his retirement.
Well, yeah, it has. I probably wouldn't be retiring quite yet if it weren't for this. But I accept it for what it is. I'm grateful that I've had 2 more years after the diagnosis and initial recovery to be able to do the home games and to do this game. So taking it as the glass half full, I'm glad I'm still here and able to still do this.
Over the decades, Haynes has called NCAA basketball Sweet 16s to the football playoffs to the College World Series in baseball. He takes pride in being the voice of the Bears.
Well, that's my identity. I mean, I've been identified as such mostly since 1977, and I wear that very humbly and proudly because I think it represents a lot of continuity. It represents everything about the spirit of Missouri State, which is really special. And as Dr. John Kaiser once always said, "'Tis a privilege to be a Bear."
The one thing about Art is he'll tell you how it is. You know, I respect his honesty. I respect the way he handles himself as a professional. And we talk about resiliency from our football team. Art's been through a lot, and he understands that life is meant to be lived. It's not meant to be hiding away somewhere and just fade into the abyss when you're cared about as much as he is.
And yes, Haynes has thought long and hard about how he will sign off Saturday's final game.
The very end of the broadcast, I do. I thought I've got to write this out so I don't blow it on game day and get in and not miss anybody. But as far as the call of the game itself, that's just going to be wherever the game takes it. And I really want to focus during those 3 hours and doing the best job I possibly can this one last time.
Speaking for Missouri State fans across the Midwest, we're going to miss hearing the vocal tones of the legendary broadcaster, Art Haynes. For more sports, watch Ozarks First News at 9 and 10, and I'll see you then.